Today's video is not about design, it's not about freelancing or building a website, it's about the gear that I use to record this video. So if you're into that, if you're live geeking out about equipment and you want to know what I'm using, stay tuned for this video. Hey everybody, and what's up? Since I've finalized the setup for this new studio, which I'm super excited about, and I got great feedback from you guys, I want to share how I've created it and what I'm using to produce these videos and just to do my work as a designer and content creator in general. Before we dive into that, and I don't want to overwhelm you with equipment, I just want to make it clear to you that I do think that you can do a lot with kind of a low budget. And most of the videos that you've seen on this channel, if you've watched most of the videos that are not from this year, all of them have been recorded on this camera, which I shot maybe 600 videos with it. It's the Canon G7X. Super great camera for content creation because it has this flip screen, it has great depth of field, and the sound here is pretty great as well. This is what I used. It did not broke for after three years of daily video. This is really solid. I think it sells for like $400. So most of the stuff I did just with this thing. Now, obviously, now it's like my business to produce videos, so I have more elaborate setup with lights, with microphone, with everything that I'm working with. So we'll dive into that, but don't be overwhelmed. You can start with on a budget. I'm just sharing you what I'm working with these days. So let's get started. First of all, I want to tell you where I'm recording this. So I am basically working from a co-working space based in Tel Aviv, Israel. I used to work from home as a freelancer for a lot of time, but now that I have 2 kids, it's been a little bit overwhelming to try to do everything from home. So I moved into a co-working space. And for the last year, if you've seen the previous season of this YouTube channel, I was kind of in a different room here. And that room had a few problems, which is why I moved to this room, which is just on the other side of the hall. The reasons were that the sound was so horrible and I couldn't do much about it because it was just glass walls all around, and I couldn't control the light very much because the light came from the window and it would change depending on whether there were clouds or no clouds. So I didn't have great control over the lights, which is why I moved to this room. Now, the first thing that I try to do with this room, because this is a shared office space and people are talking in the rooms nearby, I tried to, as much as possible, kind of insulate this room. And I did this by putting curtains over the walls, which, because we have glass walls here, it helps to kind of dampen the sound a little bit. And also, people just don't look at me when I'm shooting the videos here, which was very confusing because I would talk to the camera and then behind the wall somebody would come and wave at me, and that would kind of confuse me. So now I'm kind of blocked out sitting in this black cubicle of mine. And then on the back here, I put some acoustic foam, which should try to help with the echo, which with these rooms, which are, with an open ceiling and made of glass, the echo was very problematic, which is why I used this acoustic foam and why I bought a new microphone. And this acoustic foam, which a lot of people were asking about, where'd you get it? Honestly, we just went on Google and wrote acoustic foam and saw what shop literally locally here in Tel Aviv sell this, and we just went there and picked this up. I don't think it's a brand. I don't think there's much difference in terms of the acoustic foam, but it just looks, Noah, my wife, thought this looks cooler than the other like normal eggshell type of acoustic foam. So we got this, and I think it looks pretty solid. All right, so let's get down and talk about the gear. So what I'm recording this video with, the camera is the Panasonic GH5, which is a great camera. The reason I bought this camera is actually for 2 reasons. One, it can record forever. So the problem with these camera, this would shut down after like 16 minutes. And even the Sony, I was considering buying the Sonys, I think that after 30 minutes or 1 hour, they cut the video, they just stop recording. Now, because I was shooting interviews and long form videos, I chose the Panasonic GH5 because it can record forever and the battery lasts forever. And I can also connect this camera to using kind of a thing to my computer so that I would be able to do live streaming with it. Right now, it's not connected using HDMI to my computer. It's just recording on the SD card, and then we're editing from there because we want to shoot at 4K. Then we can edit a little bit, and we have bigger possibilities for editing. So this is the camera. The lens that I'm using, the camera cost, I think, like $1,400, and the lens itself costs like $900. So the lens costs almost as much as the camera itself. The lens is the Sumilux 12mm 1.4, and the reason I got it is because this is a very tight space. I wanted to be able to have the camera pretty close by next to me, and also try to get a little bit depth of field, so what I have in the back is a little bit blurred and looks nice. And sometimes when I'm doing B-roll, when I'm shooting vlogs or I'm shooting other things, for the video, I wanted to have these kind of nice shallow depth of field kind of look with the blurry background. And so I invested in this lens, which I think is pretty good. I think if I would have to reconsider, maybe I would buy a little more zoom lens that I would be able to put the camera a little bit in the back, a little bit farther from me. Also, this very wide lens create this kind of a little bit of a fisheye effect, specifically if I come closer, it gives this kind of a weird effect. But overall, I think I'm pretty happy with the lens itself. Now, the computer that I'm recording this, I'm working with a MacBook that I bought at the end of 2018. And I actually bought it after I had a MacBook that I worked with for like 7 years. I think I had my previous MacBook for 7 years, and it worked. As I told you, I don't really like buying new equipment. I mean, I like geeking out about it, but I try to use my equipment for as long as possible. So I used that MacBook, and the only reason I switched to the new MacBook was because when I tried to edit 4K videos, that old computer, 7 years old MacBook, could not handle it very well. So I bought this this is the MacBook Pro 2018, 32 gigabytes of memory. I think I've kind of like upgraded it. I don't remember all the specs, but this works just fantastically well for me. Edits 4K really nicely. So I'm not considering updating anytime soon, because for right now, it feels like really solid. Everything works fantastically well. So this is the computer. That computer is hooked up into a monitor that I just got like a few weeks ago. This is the new LG Ultrafine 5K display. Also, after I had just the normal 27 display for like 7 years, I bought this new 5K display, and it is just so sweet. It is so great to look at and read content and edit graphics. It's just phenomenally well. It's beautiful. It's also, this screen is kind of like from metal. It looks premium. It looks kind of like an Apple thing, right? And I think they've built this specifically to hook up with MacBooks, and this is the screen I think that Apple recommends, and I think they did a really good job of trying to create this screen as a premium screen. It really feels this way, and it's really, really nice to look at, and so I'm really happy with it. Some people ask me, are you not afraid of, as a web designer who's designing for the web, you're going to have such a great screen that you're not going to be able to see, how those websites look at, on normal screen where your actual clients might be using? I think this is a solid argument, but so you always do have to choose, and I did change a little bit the zoom on the screen so things look a little bit bigger, but I do think that as a designer, it's great that I have the high resolution display. If things don't look great here, if I don't produce, expert images at 2x, so they will look great on kind of a retina screens with high resolution, then they're definitely not going to look great on my my clients, computers. So I'm trying to do the best on this, and I think it works really well for me right now. Okay, in terms of the microphone, so this microphone is the Shure SM7B. Basically, I don't remember. I think I researched. I try to do stuff like what Gary Vee's using and all these kind of famous podcasters, and I saw that this is really a premium and pretty good microphone. And when I was talking to the guy at the store before purchasing it, and I explained all the problems that I have here acoustically, so this is a pretty expensive microphone. I think it's cost well, maybe not super expensive. I don't know. Now I see here $400. So maybe it's pretty decent. But I think this is still a premium microphone. Because the thing here is that it only picks up what you say when you are very close to it. So it is supposed to make, if there's a noise in the rooms nearby or the echo, it should solve that just by being a great microphone. And I think it does a great job. It's not perfect, but I think it does a great job. You might still hear people are talking, in the rooms nearby, which sucks, but that's life, Now, to use this mic, because this mic, I don't know if you can see, but there's like a cable. It's not like a USB mic. Before I had this mic, I had let me pull this out. I was working with this. This is the blue Yeti, which is very, very popular for podcasting YouTubers because this is not only great quality, but it also connects with a USB to your computer. So that used to, you just plug this, but this is kind of with an auxiliary, I think. I don't know how you call these, like big cables for audio things. So you actually need an interface to connect this to your computer. That's why I have here the Focusrite Scarlett, what's the name of this? Scarlett 2i2, which basically means the cables are plugged in here and then it's being plugged into the computer. So it's just, again, I'm not a sound expert, but this is basically what you have to do. Also, one more thing that you have to add here is this dynamite thing. I don't know the name of this. This is not expensive. It's maybe like, I don't know, less than $60, I think. But this is just like makes the microphone louder, because if you just take this and connect it to this Scarlett thing and then to the computer, it won't be loud enough. This audio thing actually becomes pretty complicated when you dive into it. So I took advice from the guy at the shop. He basically told me what I need and I set this up, and I do feel like the audio have been really improved with the audio setup and what I did to the room. I do feel like have been much improvement in the room. So let me see, what else have we not discussed? Right, so the lights. So basically right now there are two light sources here. So this is basically a light ring. It's called Tech ring light. I'll put all the links in the description. It's basically, I looked up for a light on Amazon, and this is basically what I found for like $100. So it's a lighter ring. You can control the temperature of the light between blue light and orange light. And it's pretty solid. It comes with the stand. So this is kind of the main light. And here in the background, I have kind of a black backlight. That's actually called the Yongnu. I don't know. It's something Chinese. But the thing that's really, really cool about this, so first of all, this is a light that works with a battery, so I don't have to hook it up to the electricity every time I'm shooting. And the other thing is it has RGB control, so you literally can make this any color that you want. And this is pretty cool. Right now it's set to blue, but I can turn it into red, or I can turn it into any other color to give kind of a cool, dramatic backlight effect to my videos. So this is it. I think this kind of basically covers all the equipment I use when editing those videos. Those videos are being edited using Adobe Premiere, which I like, and my editor Nick, who edits these videos, we're using Adobe Premiere to edit them. And basically that's it. If you have any other equipment or gear related questions, put them in the comments below. Let me know what you're using, if you have any recommendations how to improve this setup, or if there's anything that you'd like to know, let me know in the comments, and I'll talk to you in the next video.